Okay, so good morning, students. Am I audible?
Yes,
Morning,
sir.
sir.
Okay, morning. Okay, so since all of you have joined, still someone is again joining. Okay, so in the last class, we have discussed about the particular introduction to the controller. Okay, so what kind of controllers we used? So we have discussed that we generally use on-off controller for a basic, simple system, but for a more practical and advanced and complex system, we don't use on-off controller because that do not rectify all the errors. Okay, and okay, so in the on-off controller, the thing is that when the in the case of a heater, so when the heater was on, okay, then the uh, room was used to get heated, and when the temperature reached some sufficient value, then the heater was used to switched off, and when it was switched off, again the temperature used to fall down, and before it started completely, the temperature used to decrease too much, okay, to a subsequent significant value. So that means there was a delay. Okay, so it was like this. Okay, as we have seen that the temperature was rising, but it rose too much high. Okay, and it was when you were decreasing, it was also decreased too much high. So it was not a continuous control. So in order to overcome that, we use the continuous control, which are the proportional, derivative, and the integral controller. Now talking about proportional controller is nothing but a gain, okay, which is a transfer function kp, which is nothing but a gain which is multiplied with the actual forward path transfer function plant. Okay, it is multiplied to it. Okay, so this is done because proportional controller has the advantage is that more if the error is more, okay, so the controller action, the signal will be more in magnitude. That means if the error is suppose 1%, then the value of kp will be say 1. If the or say something like 1.1. If the error is 2%, the value of kp will be 1.2. Okay, so like this it will increase. So it is proportional. So it is proportional. So the proportional control strategies, this proportional controller is, suppose this is a closed loop system, so this is the proportional controller kp, okay, in series, or you can say connected to the forward path transfer function gs, so that the actual forward path transfer function will be kp into gs, and then we have a feedback hs. Okay, so it tells that when we have a step input, okay, for example the step input of a signal, then if the system is under damped, then the oscillation will be as like this. We will get a oscillation like this. Okay, so we will have a it is a second order system, so we will have a overshoot, okay, and then undershoot, and then slowly it will be damping, okay, and then it will reach towards stability, but there will be some error. Okay, there will be some error. Okay, so there is some steady state error because this input and output will not match each other. If I extend this part, okay, there may be a situation where the input and output do not match. Okay, so there is some gap, so which is called the steady state error. Okay, So now for an example, if we take that example of a water level control, so you can see this is a water level control where this is the tank, okay, oh sorry, this is the main reservoir. Okay, so this is the reservoir over here which is collecting the water from the valve. Okay, so from the tank, suppose. Okay, so there is some tank connector somewhere on the left, there is some tank. So water is coming from here. If I indicate in this way, the water is coming from here. Okay, somewhere over here there is a tank. Okay, water is flowing and it is flowing from here, and there is a valve. Okay, and when the valve opens, water falls down and it gets collected over here in the reservoir. There is an outlet also from where the water will be collected. Now there is a continuous process. So the in the bottom, this particular outlet is open, okay, and the water is getting collected from the consumer. And in order to maintain the water level, okay, there is a sensor. The sensor senses that the water level has dropped down from a desired value. So it will give the signal to the controller. The controller will take some necessary actions and it will open the valve. Okay, and open the valve according to the water has dropped down. That means if the water level has dropped 20%, so the valve will open 20%. Okay, now if the outlet, bottom outlet, is continuously open and the water level is dropping down too much, suppose the rate of flow of water is say 2 liter per minute, that means every minute 2 liter water is been collected. Okay, so that means after 1 minute 2 liter will drop down, then sensor will sense it, and then controller action will give the control to the valve, and the valve will be open in such a way that 2 liter per minute water flow is achieved from the valve. So here also we are getting 2 liter per minute. The water is also decaying 2 liter per minute. That means the incoming and outgoing rate is equal. Now if the outgoing rate has increased from 2 liter per minute to 3 liter per minute, suppose more consumer has come and more taps are open, so now the water is finishing at water is coming out at 3 liter per minute. So that signal will go to the sensor, and sensor will signal will be given by the sensor. Okay, because sensor will sense it that the water level decreasing rate is higher, so it will be given to the particular, you can say, controller. Okay, so more decrease is there. Okay, so suppose, because see, the one thing is that it cannot detect the rate of decrease, it can only detect the level of decrease. That means if the water level is decreasing by 3 liter per minute, so it will see that after 1 minute it has decreased by 3 liter. So it will give a signal to the valve that the water level has decreased by 3 liter. So you open the tap in such a way, we get 3 liter every minute. So it is giving, but initially what happens, first, in the first case, if I represent in this way, first case, suppose water was over here. Okay, water was over here, suppose this was the water level. Now when it has decreased and reached over here, then the sensor is sensing and giving the controller the action, and the valve is open. Now after that the water level is maintained up to here, because if the water rate of if the water level is decreased more, the signal will be given to the valve in such a way that more water is incoming. So it is maintained over here, but initially there was a gap. That gap cannot be filled. Okay, so this is called the steady state error. So that means the system is now steady because the controller has now come in the action. Okay, and it is multiplying some gain into the plant, so that we can see the plant, which is resulting in the minimizing of the error. Okay, so but the minimizing of the error means the system to be stable. That means initially what was happening, when the incoming means outgoing water, if you are withdrawing too much water from the system, then the system will become unstable, because if the level is dropping down from here, then it will become unstable. That means we can represent it in this way, that there is an overshoot continuously. But if the level is maintained at a certain rate, then we can say that the overshoot is no more there, it is damped. But after damping also, there is some gap with respect to the desired input, because there is some gap. So this is called the steady state error. Okay, this is called the error. So that means the proportional controller can control the magnitude of error. Okay, if the error is more, then it will give signal to the system in such a way that the system operates in a more rapid way. Okay, but initially, so now if there is a change in this, it is written over here, you can see, if there is a change in the water flow from the tank, then to maintain the water level to its set value, we require controller to change the signal to the valve to new valve. Because a proportional controller gives an output proportional to the error, there will be no controller output when there is no error. That means when there is no error, the controller output will be not there. Because if there is no error, why the controller will operate? Because the sensor will sense that there is no error, so you don't have to get excited. You just remain as it is, because the system is stable. Okay. Thus, to maintain the new inflow rate, the controller requires to have an error input, because if there is no error, then the inflow rate from this valve will not be there. So the system will operate with the water level never quite reaching the required level. That means what is happening, this is very interesting line, these two lines, that the thing which I just explained earlier, that initially this red dot was there, this is the actual level of water. Now when the water level has decreased and reached over here, then the sensor has sensed that there is some error. Okay, so water is flowing at a more water is flowing, so you have to fix it. So how much water is flowing, it will set that amount of input to the valve, so that valve also gives that much amount of water. Okay, so this new level is increased, new value is achieved. Now if the amount of water which is flowing out is equal to the amount of incoming water, that means there is no error. So the system will now realize that yes, there is no error. So controller will not take any action, not take any more action to increase the water flow. Why it will not increase? Because water flowing is remaining same, because मान लो कि यहाँ पर भी 3 लीटर पर मिनट से वाटर जा रहा है, तो कंट्रोलर भी 3 लीटर पर मिनट से वाटर डाल रहा है. Okay, so now there is no error, so controller will realize that there is no error. So why I will go for 4 liter per minute? Because it does not realize that the actual level of water has decreased. Initially where they have started, from there now the current level of water is not equal. So the current level of water is suppose 5 liter less. Okay, so what about the 5 liter? So it does not know. Okay, because it cannot realize that, because it is only sensing that how much water is leaving and how much water is entering, are they equal or not. If it is equal, there is no error, but it is not taking any action to regain its actual position. Okay, that is why it is written that thus to maintain the new inflow rate, the controller requires to have an error, so the system will operate with the water level never quite reaching the required level in order to maintain the input flow. This is called the offset of the steady state error. Okay. Now we can represent this in a equation, that if this is a closed loop system, okay, this is a closed loop system, so we know that closed loop system with negative feedback, if I give the negative feedback symbol over here, this is plus sign, this is minus sign. So we know that in a closed loop system where only we have GS, suppose KP is not there, then the closed loop transfer function is CS by RS equals to GS by 1 plus G. GS HS. Now since KP is now multiplied over here, so KP will be here and KP will be here. Now it is KPGS. Okay, that is why it is KPGS. Okay, so numerator we have KPGS by 1 plus GS HS KP. KP is the gain of the proportional controller. Okay, suppose we have a simple system where GS is just a gain, okay, suppose the value of GS is just a gain K and HS is 1, that means feedback is unity feedback, then what will happen? Then the values will be K Kp y 1 plus K Kp because H is 1, okay, and this is CS by RS because this is CS in S domain by RS, okay, this is output, this is input, okay, so we can write output equals to this entire thing into input, okay. Now we can see from here that the difference, because this is an output by input, okay, so the ratio of output by input is such a way that it cannot be 1 because Kp by 1 plus K Kp, so if K Kp by K Kp is there, then we will get 1, okay, but there is a 1 plus over here. So if this value, numerator value, is suppose 0.1 and this is 0.1, then it will be hugely less than 1, okay, but suppose the value of K Kp is equals to suppose 1000, then we can get 1000 by 1001, that means very very close to 1, isn't it? That means as long as K Kp is much greater than 1, the output will become virtually the same as input, that means the ratio will be almost 1. The offset error is the difference between the input and the output, obviously, because the error which you are getting, offset error, मतलब कि दिए वाला error, this error. So if the value of this Kp and K are too much higher than equals to 1, then we can reduce this value of offset error, because if input and output are becoming very close to each other, that means the offset error will be very less, okay. The offset error can be very very less and it can be reduced, okay. So offset error is the difference between the input and the output in the steady state, the presence of an offset, meaning that the system can never give the required output as per the input. So if the offset error is there, suppose if I am increasing the value of Kp and K, if it is 100, then it is, the efficiency will be not 100% but less than from 9, if it is 100, then 100 by 101 whatever we will get. If it is 1000 by 1001, it is closer to 100. If it is 10,000 by 10,001, then it is more closer to 100, but still it is not 100%. I am talking about 100%. If it is 1000 by 1001, then it is very very close to 100%. If it is 10,000 divided by 10,001, then also it is much more closer to 100%, but it is not exactly 100% because there will be some offset error always, because if there is an offset error in the beginning, it will continue to be there, and the proportional controller cannot make any arrangement to minimize that particular offset error. So the increasing the value of K to minimize offset error will however result in an increase in the frequency of the oscillator. So there is one problem is there, that if you think that okay, I cannot minimize the offset error, isn't it? I cannot totally nullify or cancel the offset error. There will be some offset error. Now the thing is, यहाँ पर देखो, यहाँ पर जो offset error है, मान लो ये वाला offset error है 20%, suppose this is 20%. So if I want to make any necessary changes in the value of K and Kp from the beginning, that the water level is not reduced too much but up to here. So this value is suppose 10%. Offset error is 10%. Now you have designed a system which is having offset error less. Now one is telling that no, I will reduce the offset error to 1%. That also you can do. So the thing is, what you have to do, you have to make the value of Kp very very high. You have to make the value of Kp very very high. Okay. So that means in order to make the error towards 0, you are increasing the value of Kp more and more. You are increasing the value of Kp more and more. So what you are sacrificing, what you are doing, if you increase the value of Kp more and more, then this kind of graph will become more and more, frequency will increase. That means it will become like this. The value of Kp is more, the graph will be like this. That means there is too much overshoot too much, you can say, means settling time will be more, okay, and this particular frequency may increase, okay. So this you have to sacrifice, or this is the challenging thing. So increasing the k value of k to minimize the offset error, to reduce it to 10% to 1%, it will result in increase in the frequency of the oscillatory output signal and reduction in the damping, hence an increase in the overshoot. So frequency will increase, damping ratio will decrease, overshoot will increase. So this is a problem. There is thus a problem with just using the proportional mode of controller, okay. In that, to minimize offset means increasing the overshoot, and so to compromise as to be reached. So that means we are making the system more unstable, okay. So the overshoot will increase, okay. So as a result, it may happen that it is going out of control. That is why this is a major problem. To overcome that, we generally introduce a different kind of system. So see, this is an example. The damping coefficient decreases, okay. Improve rise time also decreases, oscillation or overshoot in the transient response. So if you use a proportional controller, initially suppose it was like this. Suppose if I erase this part, suppose it was like this, okay. Using a proportional controller, you will see that error may decrease, but the system will become having more overshoot, more damping coefficient is less, okay, and damping will become less, okay. So system is becoming more, you can say, complex and more vulnerable to instability, okay. System may be having less error, but stability of the system may reduce, because too much overshoot and too much of settling time is also not good for any system. That is why proportional controller can only minimize the error depending upon the gain, because it operates in such a way that it will produce this proportional gain signal, control gain signal proportional to the error. If the error is more, it will give more signal, more gain. If the error is less, it will produce less gain. Just proportional, that's it. Now we will discuss the derivative controller. Derivative controller is some addition to the particular proportional controller, okay. That means derivative controller is another kind of controller which is generally added with proportional controller, because derivative controller cannot be used as a sole. Why? That also we will discuss. So before going to this writing part, okay, text on the left, first see the figure over here, figure 10.16. See, this first one is the without any controller, okay. This is the controller input. Now with the P only, okay, the magnitude is increasing, okay, slope is remaining same, magnitude is increasing. Derivative controller, what it does, it sets some time delay, and controller input is not proportional to the error. It is just like a flat line like this, and we are adding both of them, then it becomes like this. So what is the significance or practical explanation to this? See, derivative controller means the control signal, here also it will produce some gain, but the control signal which is producing, it is not proportional to the error, it is proportional to the rate of change of error, which was lacking in the proportional controller. Because the proportional controller, the gain signal from the controller was only proportional to the error, but for the derivative controller, the gain signal is dependent upon or is proportional to the rate of change of the error, okay. So if I go through this particular portion, that so the addition of a derivative mode to a proportional controller modifies this response, okay. So a PD controller, that is proportional derivative controller combined, provides an element to the response which is largest when the rate of change of the error is greatest and diminishes as it becomes smaller. Thus, with a step input, the controller output rises faster when we apply this step input signal than with just proportional controller. That means with the help of this particular controller, the controller output rises faster. So the controller output, this is the controller output, will rise faster. Okay, if the rise is faster, okay, so as a result it will be helping it. So with PD controller, the output rises more rapidly towards the steady state value and overshoot is reduced because the derivative mode reduces system oscillations. We can increase the proportional gain element to higher values than would be feasible with just the proportional mode without the oscillations becoming too great a problem, and so reduce the offset. That means this PD controller is, since it is giving a signal which is proportional to the rate of increase of the error, so that is why if this gain is not creating that particular problem of too much overshoot, because the overshoot is also reduced because of this derivative control. So from the equation you will be able to understand. So the derivative mode is never used alone because it is not capable of maintaining a control signal under steady state error conditions. So it cannot give a control signal solely because under steady state error condition, okay, because when there is a stated error, it cannot be applied single, because under that condition what will happen, since the derivative controller operates only in a way that the signal is proportional to the rate of increase of the error, but actually the magnitude at which the rate of increase is happening, that it cannot control. It can control only the rate of increase. So the magnitude has to be multiplied with it. So that is why the proportional gain has to be there. So that is why proportional control is added with the derivative controller, because the proportional parameter is also required, isn't it? That means मान लो कि एरर जो है, एरर का जो रेट ऑफ इंक्रीज है उसके हिसाब से सिग्नल जा रहा है कंट्रोलर का, वो काफ़ी नहीं है, क्योंकि एरर जितना प्रोपोर्शनली बढ़ रहा है वो भी चाहिए. सो द प्रोपोर्शनल कंट्रोलर इज हेल्पिंग इन सच अ वे दैट द एरर इज इंक्रीजिंग एट विच प्रोपोर्शन value, magnitude, that also magnitude is also required. Suppose it is 10 per unit, then the controller action will be also 10. If it is 20 per unit, the controller action will be also 20. But derivative controller will only give signal based on the rate of increase, not the magnitude. Okay. So with the proportional controller, the controller produces a signal action that is proportional to the error, and there is a constant gain. So you can see this is the KP over here, this one. Okay, now this is actually the controller. Inside the controller, suppose this is the GS is the controller, okay, which is in series with that particular plant. That we suppose this is a closed loop system. Okay, this is the summation point. So this is the GC, gain of the transfer function of the controller, and this is the actual plant, GS. Then we have HS, okay, whatever. So this GC, which is in series with the plant, is this one. Over here they are connected in such a way that KP and they are parallel and they are adding to a summation point, and then the signal is going to this GS. Now KP and they are not in series, they are added separately. What is this parameter? KP, all of you know, KP is that gain of the forward path transfer function. Okay, so with the derivative control, the controller produces a control action that is proportional to the rate at which the error is changing. The derivative control is not used alone, but always in conjunction with the proportional control and often with the integral control. With figure shows that the basic form of the proportional plus derivative controller, the proportional element has the input of the error, okay, because error is always there, because this one over here, the error signal is coming, this is the feedback signal is coming, suppose BS, and it is the error signal over here, ET, because in S domain it is ES, so in time domain it is ET. So error signal multiplied with this, so there will be some error signal over here. Error signal is there in S domain. The S domain, if the error signal is there, so in time domain it will be ET rather than ES. So ET KP ET, तो ET will be multiplied over here. यहाँ पर S डोमेन है इसलिए हमने कैपिटल ES लिखा है, लेकिन जब T डोमेन में लिखेंगे तो KP ET लिखेंगे, स्मॉल ET. ओके. एंड डेरिवेटिव कंट्रोलर में जब आएगा तो डेरिवेटिव कंट्रोलर में भी एक गेन है KD गेन है. ठीक है. तो फिगर जो है वो थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग लग सकता है क्योंकि ऊपर एक टाउ दिया है. क्यों दिया मैं बोलता हूँ. मान लो कि ये KP है, ठीक है, और ये है KD प्रोपोर्शनल कंट्रोलर गेन, दिस इज डेरिवेटिव कंट्रोलर गेन. यहाँ पर एरर सिग्नल आ रहा है, एरर सिग्नल, तो इससे मल्टीप्लाई होगा, इससे मल्टीप्लाई होगा, लेकिन इससे मल्टीप्लाई नहीं होगा. अगर इसको टाइम डोमेन में हम देखेंगे, ठीक है, इसके साथ मल्टीप्लाई नहीं होता है, इसके साथ डेरिवेटिव होता है. जो मतलब कि KD फिर डेरिवेटिव ऑफ ब्लैंक में क्या आएगा, एरर आएगा. ठीक है. तो वॉट एवर एरर इज देयर इट विल टेक द डेरिवेटिव एंड देन मल्टीप्लाई विद इट्स ओन गेन. उसका भी थोड़ा सा गेन है, उतना बड़ा गेन नहीं है प्रोपोर्शनल कंट्रोल की तरह, छोटा गेन है. अगर बड़ा गेन होता तो फिर प्रोपोर्शनल की जरूरत नहीं पड़ता, सिर्फ डेरिवेटिव कंट्रोलर से ही कर सकते थे, लेकिन पॉसिबल नहीं है. ठीक है. दिस वाई KD is having a smaller gain, so KD derivative of that is DDT of ET. Now if I do this if I convert into Laplace domain, S domain, इसको हम Laplace करेंगे तो क्या आता है. Laplace करेंगे तो करने से ये वाला KD, ठीक है, SES, ठीक है, SES हो जाता है. ठीक है. अभी यहाँ पर तो क्या है, यहाँ पर ES तो यहाँ पर मल्टीप्लाई नहीं हो रहा ना, ES मल्टीप्लाई होगा, इसलिए इसको टाउ से रिप्रेजेंट किया गया है. ठीक है. So both will be added, so the equation will be after S domain, converted to S domain, it will be like that: KP plus KD S then ES. Okay, this will be the equation. KP will have his own value, KD will have his own value. तो यहाँ पर सिस्टम जो कंट्रोलर जो डिजाइन होके निकला है, तो क्या है कि उसमें प्रोपोर्शनल गेन भी है. दैट मीन्स द एरर, द अमाउंट ऑफ एरर इज देयर, द प्रोपोर्शनल कंट्रोलर विल प्रोड्यूस दैट मच ऑफ एरर, दैट मच ऑफ सिग्नल proportional to the magnitude of the error, and derivative controller will produce a signal which is proportional at the rate of change in error, rate of change in error. Okay. Then we will having the proportional plus integral also. Okay. Then after that we will go for the total PID controller. Okay. Summation of the all. Okay, so I will continue this part later in the next class. Okay, so I hope you have understood this part. Okay, that what is proportional controller, how it is operates, and what are the drawbacks for which we cannot use proportional controller everywhere. Okay, जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि proportional controller हम जिस सिस्टम में सिर्फ proportional controller से काम चल जाता है वहाँ पर सिर्फ proportional controller का इस्तेमाल करेंगे, लेकिन जो सिस्टम और भी कॉम्प्लेक्स है वहाँ पर हम कॉम्बिनेशन में जाते हैं. क्यों जाते हैं? क्योंकि इसमें ज़रूर कोई ड्रॉबैक होगा. वही ड्रॉबैक प्रोपोर्शनल कंट्रोलर में है कि दैट इट कैन नॉट रिड्यूस द स्टेडी स्टेट ऑफसेट एरर टू मच. इफ इट इज एबल टू रिड्यूस टू मच, then the gain will has to be increased and the system will become more unstable like this. Overshoot will be more. So using that proportional plus derivative controller, PD controller, it can reduce the steady state error but without increasing the offset, the overshoot. Okay, that we will be seeing in practically in MATLAB. Also I will show you an experiment. From there you will be able to understand that how it is happening actually. Okay. Okay, so then before leaving, let me take the record of the attendance. Okay, so then thank you students. If you have any question, you can ask, or if not, then you can leave then.
Thank you, sir.